Welcome to Chopcast. Uh, Braves are up 3-1 in the World Series. Um, it's a strange sentence still.
Yeah, no, it's weird to say out loud.
And I feel like as time has gotten or time has gone on, I feel like I have fewer and fewer emotions. I feel like
hmm
I'm just kind of shelling up to because I don't understand what's happening. Um,
No, I mean the last time I felt this sensation of like a team I've rooted for being like on the fringe was 28-3, and that was I mean
yeah.
even that was one game. That was one game split second, and then we all saw the momentum shifting. Now it's like, oh fuck, we have to win one of the next three games,
hmm
and if you think about it, up until this point, like I think a lot of people were saying that to win the series, we were gonna have to win one of two in Houston, win two of three in Atlanta, and then win one of two in Houston, which we're on track to do.
hmm
And I think, I mean, I don't know how we're feeling tonight, but I'm just so excited to watch. Like, I'm so nervous and so anxious about it, but this is the best I felt about the Braves literally all year, and it's during the fucking World Series. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
It just seems like this team keeps doing the opposite of what I feel like's about to happen. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then not in the way like I feel like this is the least superstitious I've been this
Mm-hmm.
year, where it's just like I kind of at least in the second half, I'm just a lot more confident. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it just not like that they do something different than I think in the way that like maybe I'll feel confident going into a game and they'll win, and I think we'll win and they win, but like, um, just in the finality of it, um, it just there's no reason that we should be as good as we are right now,
Uh-huh.
and that's been the theme, I guess, for months. But
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I think it's the guys like I think Kyle Wright. Like I think that's a very good like. I feel like he's incredibly symbolic of how the Braves have performed like in the postseason and as of recent, where it's kind of like you look at this person, you look at this team, thinking there's no way, and then Kyle Wright goes 4.2 innings in the most essential performance of his life.
mm,
And I feel like the Braves have just been there this entire season, where whatever you think isn't going to happen is exactly what happens. And
yeah,
I never thought we'd get to the World Series, and I never thought we'd win the World Series. But I don't want to jinx it, obviously, knock on wood, but it's looking like if there is a narrative, we're going to win.
well, to kill the narrative is the goal.
Yeah,
Um, Not once and for all, but at least for now in terms of Atlanta
yeah,
sports and Georgia sports.
hmm
But yeah, it just seems like the philosophy of this team has just been next man up. Um,
hmm
and it hardly even matters if star player gets injured. You just have someone else come perform out of the blue. Um,
hmm
and it hasn't always like stuck around for that long, but it just seems like the minute that someone new gets into the clubhouse, they just turn it
hmm
on. And that's kind of how it was with like Kyle Muller. He was doing very well
hmm
for
hmm
the first 3 weeks and then kind of slowed down.
hmm
Same with Tucker Davidson, except for he got
hmm
injured, and now he's got his opportunity again.
yeah,
Um,
no, he does.
and yeah, before Kyle Wright pitched in this series, one, I was so confused why he got added to the roster and why Jacob
Yeah,
Webb got removed. And that's not,
yeah,
I don't have a lot of faith in Jacob Webb. Um,
hmm
but it's like, what? Yeah, um, I didn't think Kyle Wright had even made an appearance for the Braves this year. But apparently, someone reminded me on Instagram that he made one start up in
hmm
Chicago at the beginning of this year, um, which he didn't do very well.
yeah. He
Um,
did poorly. I remember that.
but I think that was his only start. Um, to come into that situation,
Mm.
we are just so we have been very good in terms of pitching. The strange thing about this series is that we haven't been all that great defensively, except for a couple just flash plays like that,
Mm.
just throw your arm out catch by Eddie.
Yeah, the Eddie Kemp. Yeah,
Um, but our pitching has just been phenomenal,
mhm.
very insane.
Just absolutely insane. I love the nickname of the night shift because like that's just I mean that's just so good. They're unbelievable. I haven't seen. I mean, just the fact alone that Matzik has the lowest ERA of like the Minter Smith Matzik trio is ridiculous to me. Will Smith has a 0 ERA in the postseason right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like what the fuck?
Um, yeah. It just I don't. And these we keep that, and specifically the night shift. We
Mm,
keep throwing them out basically every game, and it doesn't matter if they see them
mhm,
more. They just keep
mhm.
doing the same thing,
Yeah.
and it's felt so weird. Like I haven't had the confidence in a pitcher that
Oh
like
my
when
god.
Tyler Matzik comes out on the field,
Yeah.
that it's
Yeah.
a shutdown. It's gonna be a shutdown inning than anybody else. He's technically given up 3 runs this whole postseason, which is still nothing
Yeah.
for how many he's pitched in basically every game except for I think 2. Um,
Mm. And
but
those are both teams we are gonna lose. So.
yeah,
Mm,
and 2 of those runs uh, were like given up by Luke, um,
mm,
and one of them was like it was game 1, and Jordan got a triple, and then
mm,
ultimately scored, and that was the only run that scored that he's allowed
mm.
in this series. Which at the beginning, like I was like, okay, yeah, it's Jordan. He's gonna get a home run or a double or some extra
Mm.
base hit, like once a game probably. But he let me preface what this episode is real quick before we keep just kind of
Mm.
verbally dumping stuff and whatever. We're just kind of we're gonna do a shorter episode today where we're just kind of laying out our thoughts and anxieties and whatever going into Game 5, which starts in an hour and
Basically an
15
hour.
minutes. Um, but yeah, so we're just kind of whatever's in our head right now. This I mean, obviously it's up for debate who has the best offense in the league, but the Astros are going to be in the top 3 every time
Mm.
someone makes an argument for it. Because I mean, they have the guy who had the batting title at 7th, which is
Yep.
insane.
Yep.
Which you can make a similar argument with us that we have like Duvall hitting in 7th, who led the NL in RBIs, but
Mm.
I mean, he's a just prototype of like go big or go home. Where
Yep.
he's just
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
his.
I mean, he was batting what like. So I think he's batting around like 250 during the regular season, but he had what like 37 home runs. That's just
I think it was 230.
yeah.
Um, he
I,
has
yeah, I feel like it
39
was.
home runs, but he with no outs he batted 170 during the year. With 1 out, it was like 215, 220, and with 2 outs, it was 270, or maybe it looked like closer to 300, and then with 2 outs and runners in scoring position, it was like 360.
Yeah.
Um, which he honestly hasn't done very much this postseason. I
He is
don't.
not. He's been a non-factor. Honestly, I'll say it. Like today, we released the roster for Game 5, obviously, and I noticed that Soler is taking over for Jock, but I also noticed Duvall's still in, and I
Yeah.
was honestly kind of surprised by that. Like, I know Jock's kind of been on a bit of a slump, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Duvall is kind of. I mean, he had that broken bat. Like, I think he was against the Dodgers. He had like a really clutch broken bat RBI. But other than that, I mean, maybe I don't even know if he's hit like a home run.
He's hit a home run
Either.
this. It was game one this series. He had the 2-run home
Right.
run that made it 5-0.
Oh yeah, that's 5-1. Yeah.
Um, but
Damn.
other than that, he hasn't done too much.
Yeah.
Especially this series. Um, he's played center pretty well, which he has not
Mm.
had many games starting in center in his career.
Mm.
Which I feel like that's kind of overlooked that we don't have like a natural
The
center
center field.
fielder.
Yeah.
But
I mean, we have Podge. Yeah.
um, then again, like they have Kyle Tucker in center field, which is essentially like putting Big Bird out there.
Yeah, for
Um,
real.
that guy, like, I don't, I don't think he has a soul. I don't I, like
I mean,
he.
anyone who bats without gloves is a psychopath. That is psycho shit.
Yeah, he just gets the dirt and like
Yeah.
rubs it on his
Gloves
hands.
on his hands.
Um, but he just like I haven't seen him. I've seen him like yell maybe once and
Mm-hmm.
smile a couple times. Um,
I mean, there are just some baseball players like that. I mean, we've got a few of them. Fucking Matzik.
but
Dude won't crack a smile on the mound.
but it's not. It doesn't even seem like he's like Matzik's trying to be like stoic and in the
Mm-hmm.
moment, whatever. Kyle's just kind of like just fucking nothing behind the curtains, just a
Yeah.
brick wall up there. And his thoughts are
Yep.
hit baseball, run.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, I could be very wrong, and that's just my impression. And I want to hate him because he's an Astro.
Of course.
So I find any
Don't we?
excuse. But yeah, anyway, back to my point about them being one of the best offenses in the league. Um, a lot of people kept talking about like how bad this World Series was going to be in favor of the Astros because of how incredible their offense is and how we hadn't really hit all that much
Mm-hmm.
considerably like through our postseason, and at times we had similar pitching. Neither one of our starting rotations was really going that deep, and
Mm-hmm.
both of our
No.
bullpens were doing pretty good, and it seemed like they had a
Mm-hmm.
leg up. Um, their bullpen is fantastic. It's still very
Oh
good.
yeah.
But they are averaging, so it's been 4 games, um, and they're averaging fewer than 3 runs a game now. Um,
Yeah, man.
which
Yeah,
before,
I've seen I've seen a lot of people online like get after Bregman, especially.
oh
I
yeah,
mean, a lot of Astros fans want him in the 8th spot. Like he's been fucking garbage. Their entire infield is batting sub 200.
169. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
one. It's
169.
and almost all of those hits are coming from Altuve right now.
Altuve. Mm.
Correa hasn't really done anything. Bregman hasn't done anything, and then
Real.
Yuli's gotten some.
He's been
Um,
all right.
but yeah, I mean they have their normal power comes from I mean 1 through 6
Mm-hmm.
basically, and then Yuli gets on base, and then Maldonado hits one every week.
Yeah.
But we just I think their best hitter right now, their best hitter through this series has probably been Altuve,
Mm-hmm.
and then right behind him, Kyle Tucker. And
Paul
Kyle
Tucker.
Tucker has struck out in very big moments.
Mm-hmm.
Like yesterday, I think he struck out twice.
Yeah.
And just their survival that we have, the ability to limit damage in terms of pitching, has
Mm-hmm.
been like uh, just priceless.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Astros in Game 4, they could have won that game in the first inning. They had
I mean, yeah,
the bases
Kyle
loaded,
Wright.
one out with
Yeah, and
Correa up.
yeah, and then Correa he hit into Austin Riley, throwing him out at first base. We traded a run for an out, but honestly, at that point, I was like, "Fuck it, whatever."
That was
Yeah,
both people shook hands. Uh,
yeah.
but it just yeah. I mean, the only other run that Kyle gave up was the
Altuve.
yeah Altuve home run, which if you can not pitch in the major leagues for essentially an entire year and then show up, go 4 2/3, and technically only give up 1 run on your own to
Mm-hmm.
the one of the best offenses in the league, I think you'll take that pretty much every
Yeah.
day. And that was what, even though like when he finished, he didn't get to qualify for the win or anything. Snicker was saying after the game that that was what won us
Mm.
the ball game.
Oh my God, 100%. I saw Kyle Wright coming out, and I thought he was gonna. I was gonna be happy with 3 innings, and then to go 4 2/3 and basically set up. Who came in Minter after him, or
No, Minter didn't pitch
Minter
yesterday.
didn't play yesterday. He didn't play. He didn't pitch yesterday. I was
Um,
thinking of game 3.
in the sixth, it was
It
Chris
was Chris
Martin.
Martin. It was Chris Martin. Yeah, and he. I mean, Chris Martin did outstanding.
Mm.
And
And then it was Matzek and then Jackson and Smith. Um,
mm,
neither one of them had that many pitches.
mm,
So they're already basically and Snicker was saying the same thing today that everyone's rated today except for Kyle Wright. Um,
mm.
and they don't have. I mean, if they need him in a situation, then they're gonna use him. But their closer Presley threw 33 pitches yesterday.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that as well.
So
So hopefully he's burnt. I
yeah,
mean,
I mean
hopefully.
we're in a pretty good spot right now to take it. A
Mm.
lot of it's resting on how Tucker Davidson does, and that's just a complete wild card. If there's any um, just continuing running theme, then he should do very well. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't really say one way or the other.
Yeah, or
Because
he could just have he could just have like a Dylan Lee moment yesterday and escort Chavez or Smiley in for the next 3 innings.
yeah, and then just leave it up to chance at that point.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I'm feeling good about it. I'll say that. I think Tucker is like he seems to be in the right mentality, and I think I saw an interview with Snicker earlier today where Snit was basically saying he had called Tucker, and Tucker was like fully on board, didn't sound nervous, pretty excited too. Um, he just needs to have his stuff, obviously, and I think that. I mean, what are we like 7-0 at Truist this postseason? 8-0.
so
I know we haven't lost a game, so that obviously flips it in our favor. But we'll
yeah, I mean,
see.
it just seems like that's probably the most confident thing, like the biggest thing I'm confident in is just it seems like our fans there just won't allow a loss. Like they
No, oh
just
my God, no, no.
will the Braves to wins.
Well, there's something so strong to be said about like home field advantage because when I went to game 5 of the NLCS at Dodger Stadium, like they had great fans and like they had good energy. I mean, the stands weren't full by any means, but just noticing the atmosphere at Dodger Stadium as opposed to what we see at Truist, like if that's any indication, our fans are literally fucking crazy,
Yeah.
insane. Like I think the best playoff atmosphere you're gonna find right now.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of people that are pretty neutral are saying that have been going into Truist Park.
Mm.
There's a video I saw of Jazz Chisholm who was at that game, and he just kept going on about it, like how crazy he thought the environment was. Which, granted, he's
Yeah,
playing in front of Marlins fans, so
yeah. So they're getting nothing.
yeah. But and I figure I haven't intently watched the World Series like since 2016.
Mm. Yeah, the Cubs was probably the last one I watched as well.
And I'm sure that each time whoever the announcers, the post game commentators are like, man, look at this crowd, or like this is one of the best
Mm.
crowds I've ever been a part of. But like just the scene like in the battery behind them, behind like Ortiz and fucking
Yeah,
A Rod and Frank Thomas,
yeah.
just like not a single little sliver of space to be found, and it was just literally everyone for like 50 minutes, just
Yeah, yeah.
just
Stop,
all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
um,
It's so good to see. It's like just seeing the city like really rally behind this team has been amazing. It's man. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do if we win the series, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to react.
yeah,
Honestly,
I don't
we've
either.
never seen a championship.
Because it's so funny. I mean, especially the year that we start this podcast, and
Mm-hmm.
like it's almost like we've bought in to the definition of insanity for
Oh
Atlanta
yeah.
and Georgia sports. And it's just like when's it gonna happen
Yep.
so that everything can be normal? It's like
Yeah. It really speaks volumes that during the NLCS, I was literally telling people I like kind of wanted the Dodgers to win Game 4 so we wouldn't go up 3-1 just because I'm so scared of
yeah,
that. And even right now, it's like honestly, most times when I'm watching a game, I feel like I'm less nervous when it's a close game as opposed to us being up by like a few runs.
yeah.
Uh,
Just because you're more, it's easier to accept the loss then, is what my
mhm.
point of view is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how to react for like a championship
Mhm.
because it hasn't happened before.
Mhm.
Um, it almost happened with the Falcons. It almost happened with UGA, but they both did the thing where they just cough up leads.
Yep.
Um, so it's just like, uh, if we win, like, do I go crazy for a little bit and like happy for a little bit, and then I go crazy for a little bit, and I get into a corner and I like have a gun in my hand and I don't let anyone near me because the world is crumbling around me as I know it.
Yeah.
Um, um, but yeah, I'll probably just make a bunch of inaudible words or sounds.
Yeah. It's all gonna come out like a mess. And how are we feeling for tonight? Like legitimately, Game 5.
I feel irrationally confident,
Same.
um,
Same.
which scares me.
Yeah.
Um,
I think I unfortunately I think that if we lose tonight, I don't think we win the World Series.
I have no comment. I have no opinion on it, but
Mm-hmm.
I will say, at least my feeling for the Braves players, what they're feeling is that they have to be thinking win tonight, which is, that's every single freaking
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
But it's just like, I think they're thinking the same thing. It's like not that if we lose tonight, we're going to lose the series, but like, we are in Atlanta. They want to win this now and get it over
Mm.
with. And like, instead of the NLCS, it's like, oh, you got 3 games to play with, like just win one of them. It's like the scale is different where it's
Mm-hmm.
getting to the World Series is one win away, and then it's winning everything is one win away.
Uh-huh.
And the allure of that is much greater than just getting to the next step. Um, so, and just thinking about how intense Truist Park is going to be
Oh
tonight,
my,
and
it's gonna be insane.
like there's
It's
going to
gonna.
be extra fan, like there probably already was yesterday, but there's going to be even more like extra fan noise from outside the stadium.
Mhm.
Um, and I just don't know how I was like, and you got to think in the Astros locker room too. They're like, okay, we got to put everything we have into this game, and basically no one's going to be resting, even if they should be for this game.
Mhm.
And they're going to throw everything that they have. Um, but how do you come out and try to maintain momentum against a crowd that violently just loud? Um,
Yeah, I mean the margin for error is so razor thin. Like if you give up a run first, you're not getting that momentum back until you score as well.
Mm-hmm.
Which at that point is so hard to do because the fans. I mean, the fans are going to influence this game so much,
Yeah.
and you can really tell the players feed off of it as well. Um, and in a lot of ways, I feel like the Braves like dugout really mirrors the energy as well. Like there's just really good energy about the team and like the stadium and everything.
But and another reason for feeling confident in terms of the game itself. I mean, we have the second game, the second bullpen game for them in a row, technically, except for it's the worst one. That was more really just a Granky start. He was not expected to
Yeah,
go
I
that
mean,
long, and they were able to
he
save
was
some of their
solid too. Yeah,
bullpen arms. But I I don't think they're gonna be able to go like one guy go two, one guy one two, one, because he's gonna be heavy stress pitches, all of these,
yeah,
and I would hope as we get a little further, we're a little more conservative if being aggressive is getting the pitchers out of good situations or bad
mm-hmm.
situations. But I would expect that one pitcher that comes to mind that I feel like it's weird due to shell is Jake Odorizzi.
Mm-hmm.
And I very much think he's going to be in there for Bolt today, just like
But yeah, I agree with
Smiley would
you.
be.
Who's starting? Framber? Is it Framber again? Not or TD.
It's definitely not
I think it's
Urquidy.
not yeah.
It is Framber.
Yeah, Framber.
Off of how many days rest? 4?
Yeah. I mean, today we were gonna have Charlie go out there, so it would have been the same.
Okay.
Oh, another thing about Tucker is because of that inexperience, like literally none of these batters have any history against him.
Yeah.
So,
But he also has no history against any of the batters. It's kind
mm-hmm.
of a double-edged sword. But yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, never mind. Take away. So was it 4 days since game one? This is game one started on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
Game
it's
one was Tuesday.
okay. Well then, never mind. I had that completely wrong. Just disregard all that I said about that. But I do still think we'll see Odorizzi if Framber can't contain himself again.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they pulled him with like 70 pitches, um, even once he started getting out of stuff. But I don't know. We seem to have Framber's number when we
I
played him in
agree.
game
I
one.
agree.
We were
Yeah.
making contact with everything. Like we could
Mm-hmm.
have easily scored more runs if we just put a little more juice into some of our swings because we got I think 3 warning track shots off of him on top of everything
Yeah.
else that we had. And Austin seemed to see him really well squared up that first RBI. Um, and second RBI. Jorge, I forgot that he just absolutely shat on a ball. Um, and
Yeah, lead off, right?
yeah, and Duvall was able to see him too, and hopefully
Mm-hmm.
he can find that same stuff. Um, Framber, I think in the Boston series, so they started with McCullers, so Framber was game 2 and game 6. Um, so he got to make both his starts in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
And the first one he was bad. The second one he went like 8 full innings of
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he
He
threw
like
one ball.
he almost pitched a complete game.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And okay. um, and yeah, I I would hope it remains the same.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know that he did better his second game
Mm-hmm.
in the Boston series, but like I said, he pitched both of them in Houston. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently he gets very emotional on the mound and lets his emotions get the best of him. So if we attack him early
Good.
again today,
Good. Yeah.
I think it's a very good
He's not
sign.
getting any of it back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very momentum pitcher.
But I think he's definitely going to come out with more of a vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
and he obviously can be a very good pitcher. So
Yeah.
we'll just see what happens. I think we need to be aggressive in the first inning. If we don't have a high enough pitch count after that, maybe be a little more conservative. But yeah, all right. Sam's got to poop.
Yeah.
So
Might be time to go. Log
yeah,
off real quick.
yeah. Here we go into the fields of the unknown.
Uh,
Staring at
it's
a at the what's the trophy called?
uh World Series. Oh
World
man,
Series.
the World Series
World
trophy.
Series trophy.
I'm completely blanking on that. Holy
It
shit.
might just be the World Series trophy.
I
There's
yeah,
there's
I
got to
feel
be a
like
name. I want to figure this out now.
yeah, Commissioner's
World
Trophy.
Series. It's
Yeah,
Commissioners.
yeah, the Commissioner's
Oh,
Trophy,
that's
which is
stupid.
so lame. That's so
Yeah.
fucking lame. Give me like what's the NHL one? The uh,
Stanley Cup.
Stanley Cup, and then
Lombardi
Lombardi.
Trophy.
Come on, that's
Commissioners.
the commission.
That's the
You're really
Commissioners.
telling me Rob Manfred is commissioning this trophy?
God.
Fuck no.
He's gonna
Fuck
he's
no.
gonna touch that trophy.
And then it's just gonna, it's gonna explode.
I will say the one good thing he's done all year is just defer the nature of the chop and the Braves name to the Cherokee Indians, which
Yeah,
I feel like is
yeah.
who should be able to jurisdict that.
Oh, I
Which
mean, 100%. Like,
there's
let's
already
be
been
real.
multiple studies that show that they just do not care at all.
Mhm.
And I thought it was kind of a big uh, fu to like people who want us to change our name and the chop and whatever when we had the Cherokee veterans come on the field in game
Yeah.
one.
No,
Um,
I totally agree. I think it's, I get why people are like up in arms about it a little, but it's not like we're the Redskins. Like the
mm,
Redskins was just a weird, off-putting like what. But I think we've clearly gotten word from actual Indigenous people that like
yeah,
representation matters, and
and
maybe you can say what but
all of this, like the definition of racism is like seeing yourself as one race being more superior to another race, or this particular race being an inferior race. Um, I will say, back when we had like Chief Nakahoma, that's
Mhm.
that's pretty tough.
Yeah,
But
you can't do that,
nothing
obviously.
nothing that we do now is like, yeah, man, those Native Americans, they're just like a gimmick. They're just
Mm.
like, or whatever. Like, yeah, nothing is
Yeah.
discriminatory. Um, but anyway, one win away from staring. We're staring the fucking commissioner's trophy in the face. Um,
88 win season, and we're here.
yeah,
Unbelievable,
I,
dude. When we started this podcast, we were comparing our division to the NFC East, like last year. Like, can you imagine an NFC East team
oh
last
yeah,
year? I mean, obviously it's a little different, but
yeah,
an NFC East team last year winning the Super Bowl, no shot.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's exciting times. Like I think everyone in Braves country, ourselves included, has a moderate amount of anxiety and sports-induced neurosis, but at the end of the day, I mean, this is incredible that we're here, and all we've got to do is win one of three. And I think that if we're killing the narrative, we're doing it pretty well, and hopefully that carries over to not today, tomorrow, or not today, 2 days from now, and if not 2 days from now, 3 days from now.
I feel confident.
I feel good.
We score
Yeah,
more than 3 runs in the first 3 innings. I think we got it locked up.
agreed.
All right,
Agreed. All right.
we got one more episode to go after this for the 2021 season.
Unreal. Yeah.
Hopefully, again, it's not a sad one. That would be a very, 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 very sad one if it was a sad one.
Mm.
All right,
All right.
go Braves.
Yeah, Braves. See you later.